Let me bring in Greg Regan now, the president of the Transportation Trades Department at the AFL-CIO, which includes the 12 unions involved in these negotiations. Mr. Regan, thank you for being on the show, especially at a moment like this.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
So, as we mentioned, the Senate is voting right now. We're going to show a live look at it. It is happening on the floor on this series of bills to avoid a rail strike. I wonder how you're feeling about it, whether you're disappointed that it could result in the same deal you had locked up a couple of months ago. Are you optimistic that, in fact, you will ultimately get paid leave down the road? Talk me through it.
Look, I'm disappointed anytime the vote to approve your own contract is taken out of the workers' hands. But we always knew that this was a possibility given the constraints of the Railway Labor Act and the fact that the railroads refused to continue to negotiate after the workers sent a very clear signal that paid leave was going to be a vital issue in order to get it passed for those last four unions.
Some Republican senators are suggesting that mandating sick leave would set a bad precedent, basically, that unions and companies could end up sidestepping the negotiating table if they think they could get a better deal out of lawmakers in Congress. How do you respond to that?
Well, I think the way that the railroads engaged in the bargaining process throughout this last 3 years shows that they were actually counting on this to be the end game from the very start. Once we saw what the PEB recommendations were, once we saw the recommendations from the White House, they were unwilling to go any further, even though members said that this is one thing that is needed is this paid sick leave. And don't get me wrong, the other parts of this agreement are actually pretty darn good. I mean, you have the highest wage increase for workers in 45 years. They held the workers harmless on health care. You got an additional $5,000 bonus for every single employee. And there are other benefits which is the reason why 8 out of the 12 unions ultimately voted to ratify this deal. But the railroads did not listen to their workers, the workers in these specific crafts who said that paid leave has to do it, otherwise we can't ratify it.
Let me ask you this, because you've well laid out, I think, there is more money, there is more benefits, right? There are more benefits that are in this plan that would benefit people, these railroad union members and union workers here. That obviously, and we spoke with somebody just on this show yesterday over on the other show that I do, a union worker who had to take a day off unpaid because his kid got sick, right? I mean, that's why this stuff matters. The president has said he's really confident and he's making it clear he'll keep on fighting for this paid leave. Are you confident? Do you trust that that's actually going to happen?
I do. I think it'll happen one way or the other soon. I think that the railroads don't like that this has become the sticking point. This has become the focal point of the media and of lawmakers. I think it's very clear that what the workers are going through, the working conditions that they are subjected to are completely unfair, especially for such a vital part of our economy. And I think we're going to keep this momentum going, whether it be through legislation, through executive action, through dragging them back to the bargaining table in either before the next round or at the next round. I think we have the momentum here. We just need to make sure that we keep this energy, we keep this anger that the workers have, and channel it towards a really productive and really aggressive campaign to deliver what they deserve and what they need.
Do you think that momentum translates to other industries? In other words, do you see this as part of a tipping point as it relates to unionization and the labor movement taking on and flexing more muscle right now in this country?
Absolutely. I think that was true before this fight came to bear, but also look at all of the support you're getting from industries all around the country for these rail workers. I think there is a sense around the country right now that people have power in their jobs, and they have even more power when they join together and bargain collectively and fight with a unified voice. So I think we're going to see more and more actions like this where we are holding employers accountable and delivering what the workers deserve, regardless of what industry you work in.
President Biden and members of his administration like to call themselves the most pro-union White House in modern history, as you know. You think that statement still rings true to you at this point?
I do, yes. I want to be very clear. I know there's been some criticism of the president and his decision to call on Congress to impose this contract. But I also want to be very clear that we would not be in this situation where we have all of these gains in the contract without the support of the president. In fact, if he hadn't taken the actions earlier this year that he did, we would likely still be in mediation very, very far apart from the railroads, and we wouldn't have an end in sight in terms of delivering raises to these workers who have gone 3 years without a raise. So he should get a lot of credit. And I know this was a difficult decision for him, and I know it's a difficult decision for members of Congress for the reasons I stated earlier. We don't want to take that right and that vote out of workers' hands. But I do believe they worked as hard as they possibly could and really dragged the employers to a point where we had some substantial gains in this contract.
Greg, thank you. Greg Regan from the AFL-CIO. Appreciate you being on. Appreciate you talking us through this, even as this is all going down in the building just behind me here. Thanks again. Speaking of buildings not too far from